What's up, guys? We got another one here from the wall. Let's get into it.
You know what the beautiful thing is about being single your whole life? It's the fact
Cats.
that, this is my personal opinion, personal experience. You don't depend on males' validation. You have really great self confidence, or at least that's the case with me because I've never been built up by a man. But I've never seeked a male's validation to feel good about myself, like ever, because I've never had it. So I feel like that's a pro.
The beauty of a single life, right? No need for a man's validation. It's great that you've got the self confidence, but how much of that confidence is genuine? Society loves to push this narrative that you don't need anyone, but that being independent is the ultimate goal. But let's cut through the crap. Loneliness isn't a badge of honor. The whole I don't need validation line is just a defense mechanism because deep down everyone craves a connection. Sorry to burst your bubble there, honey, but it's not all roses on the single life island.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like men and women in 2024 just don't like each other. I've seen so many TikToks where men are bashing women are bashing men, and we just all need to come back together. We are supposed to like each other. What is going on? Whilst I do appreciate the effort, I've also had quite a lot of men who have slid into my DMs, and love that for you, but the approach probably isn't the best. So what I'm thinking of doing is a series to bring the conversation, bring men and women back together, but also to give men some pointers from a woman's perspective on how to ask someone out, how we want to be treated on dates, etc. I'm only going to do it if enough people want me to do it. So if you think this is a good idea, please put a comment on this video or I'll not do it.
The men and women in 2024 don't like each other. Okay, sure. Welcome to the world of modern dating where everyone is just this walking red flag on TikTok. It's hilarious that people blame technology, societal shifts, or whatever, when the truth is that both men and women have both been brainwashed into thinking that they're the victims. Mostly women. And now you want to give men tips on how to ask someone out? Here's a tip. Stop pandering to the nonsense and maybe focus on meaningful connections instead of trying to fix what's broken between the genders. And spoiler alert, you're not going to heal this mess with a TikTok series.
I just deleted all of my dating apps from my phone, and I want to talk about what pushed me over the edge this time, because I have used dating apps on and off for a few years. I've met up with a few people, I've had some good experiences, I've had some bad experiences, but this is something that happens to me so often, right? I'm talking to someone on a dating app, more specifically men tend to do this, and I will give them my Instagram with the intention of talking on another app and making plans. They follow me on Instagram, I follow them on Instagram, and let's say it's Thursday night, they'll be like, what are you doing Friday night? What are you doing Saturday night? And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy tomorrow night, I'm busy Saturday night, I have plans with my friends, which I feel like is relatively normal come Thursday night to have plans Friday night. And they either go, that's boring, and they try to push me out of my existing plans with my real friends in my real life, not just random people I've met online, but my real friends. And I'm like, I'm obviously not gonna cancel my plans with my real friends to see someone I met on a dating app. I will slot you in when I have time. But anyway, I digress. A lot of the time when I say, sorry, I'm busy tomorrow night, but maybe later next week or the week after we can do something, they unfollow me. I'm telling you, 70% of the time, if I'm not instantly available, I don't know if it's because they're butthurt, but they just unfollow me. And maybe it's because a lot of people follow people on Instagram just because they want followers or just because they enjoy the game and they don't really want to meet up with someone. But for me, I'm like, I'm not going to give you my Instagram and waste all my time talking to you if I have no intention of meeting up with you. I'm not saying I've never ghosted someone. Sometimes you start talking to someone on Instagram or from a dating app and they end up being kind of weird, or you get busy and you forget about them, right? I'm not trying to say I've never ghosted anyone or that I'm personally offended if someone ghosts me or unfollows me. But so often it's the second I say, sorry, I'm busy this coming weekend, sorry, my next 48 hours are planned, they'll be like, oh, okay, and just unfollow me. And I'm just like, Are you that sensitive? I'm not using dating apps to try to find a relationship because A, I don't think they're really a good way of doing that, and B, I don't particularly want one, but I still don't want to waste my
And why are you on the dating apps unless except for looking for a hookup?
time. And it kind of confuses me. Like, why would you spend so much time like going through profiles on a dating app, yapping to someone, getting their contact, only to unfollow them the second they don't instantly give you what you want? Because I am genuinely down. Like, I'm genuinely down to get dinner, to get drinks, to meet you, to go on a date. Like, I'm genuinely down. I just like I'm not down in the next 24 hours.
So you deleted your dating apps. Well, congratulations. How many times have we heard this line? Too many to count. But let's dive into why you're really frustrated. You're juggling your real friends while the guys out here are just ghosting you for not dropping everything just to meet up. But the harsh truth is dating apps are full of people looking for an instant gratification. You're not special for having real life commitments. They're just not interested in waiting around for you. Modern dating is a game, and the second you don't want to play along, you're going to get unfollowed. It's not going to get any better because at the end of the day, people want what's convenient, not a 2-week wait list for your time.
So I have been asking people in my life this would you rather question over the past couple of months, and it has been very divisive between men and women. And the question is, would you rather you cannot have a significant other ever again for the rest of your life, but you get to maintain and keep all of your platonic friendships and you can make new friends? Or you can have a significant other but no more platonic connections. And it's implied in the question that it's like a really functional relationship with your significant other, so it's like the love of your life, your soulmate, and you can still have family either way, but it's basically friends or partnership. And almost every single straight man that I have asked this question has selected significant other and no friendships, and almost every single woman or AFAB person that I've asked this question has said friendship. And I think that this speaks absolute volumes about the epidemic of loneliness amongst men and the lack of fulfillment that men get from their friendships, specifically their male friendships, as a result of the patriarchy. For some time now, I have been of the opinion that for the most part, to be a man is to experience a lot of loneliness, especially an Australian man, because Australia has this culture of aloofness where vulnerability is really hard to maintain in platonic connections, especially without alcohol and especially in connections between men. I've asked a lot of my male friends and just men in general if they say I love you to each other, if they say I love you to their male friends, and a lot of the time their answer is no, or that they don't really talk about anything deep or anything vulnerable. And this is not exactly news. This isn't a profound take. Like, I think everyone knows that men do not connect as closely with each other as non-men do. But the fact that the disparity between platonic fulfillment in men and platonic fulfillment in women is so stark that men are opting to not have friendships and instead get everything out of a partner, but women are feeling so much more fulfilled by their platonic connections that they are opting to forego having a significant other. It's just really interesting to me, and I feel like it proves how much of a problem this is, because it's not like it's most of the men that I asked and most of the women and non-men that I asked. It's almost like 100% each way. I just think this conversation about the patriarchy contributing to male loneliness goes so much deeper than the idea of like whether or not men would choose partnership or friendship. I think it's contributing to the rise of incel culture, and I also feel like it's a huge reason why women feel like they have to teach their male partners, because men aren't learning emotionally from their friends the way that women are. Women do not just learn about deep emotional and vulnerable topics from their intimate partners and from their significant others. They also learn a lot from their friends, and I feel like men do not learn as much from their friends. So it also puts a lot of pressure on women that are in straight relationships to emotionally uphold the connection, because they have gained so much maturity and wisdom from their friendships, and it leaves men at a disadvantage when it comes to emotional maturity. Anyway, please answer this would you rather question in the comments. I want to gather more intel, and I will come back with more thoughts.
Oh my God, I just lost like 40 brain cells right there. This would you rather question is a telling one. I mean, would you rather have a lifetime of friends or the love of your life? It's not a surprise that men would choose a significant other while women are choosing friendships. Men are out here are starved for emotional connections, and that's thanks to society telling them to man up and keep their feelings to themselves. Meanwhile, women are out here drowning in their emotional support from their friends, hearing their go queen, boss babe, blah, blah, blah. And yet they still feel like they have to teach their partners how to be emotionally available. That's not true. Men don't open up for the fear of anything that they open up and share is being used against them. And it's too many times this is something that happens. Men do have emotions and feelings. We just don't share them for that very reason, because it does get it used against us in a malicious way, and there's no benefit for us for sharing that. So it's not necessarily a patriarchy's fault. It's the fact that men have been conditioned to shut down emotionally, and women have been trained to build their emotional lives outside of the relationships with all their other girlfriends.
Someone please explain to me what is wrong with men nowadays. Like, since when was it the woman's job to message first? Since when was it the woman's job to pay on the first date, even though the man was the one that instigated the dating in the first place? I don't mind going halves, but expecting me to be the one that dishes out the payment, the entire payment for the entire bill, that's crazy to me.
You can thank the independent boss babe movement, wanting to do it all yourself. I don't need no man. There you go.
Since when did men expect the woman to be the chaser and the men to be the one that's just sat receiving, being pretty and not doing nothing? It's not a woman's job to pursue. The whole point of a male is to be a hunter, to hunt for the prize, which is the woman. And I'm not saying the woman needs to bring nothing to the table, but for goodness sake, do something. Like, is it just me that thinks this? Am I losing my mind? My man told me if a woman is not satisfying her man, he will go find satisfaction elsewhere. But how can you expect her to satisfy you when you're doing the bare minimum, if that, to even invest in her and to show her that you like her? And to show her that you're worthy of having her. To expect me to keep chasing you because you've been hurt in the past, so you're taking out your trauma onto me and telling me that I need to show up in places that your ex didn't show up, it does not add up. I've been traumatized too. You're not showing up for me in ways that I expect you to show up. If anything, you're doing way less than what my ex did. And my ex cheated on me. I would rather go back to my ex who cheated on me and give him another opportunity than be sat here trying to chase you, pursue you, and invest all my...
Man, this one's got trauma all over her, and the fact she would rather go back to her ex than build something with a new person says she's not even over the ex yet.
Energy into you because you're draining me. You're literally draining me. You're sitting there telling me how much you like me and how much you see a future with me. But the thing is, I don't. I can't do this.
Stop.
We got the classic men aren't doing enough argument as usual. Since when was it the woman's job to pay for dates or chase after men? Yeah, just like I said, since you wanted independence, boss babe, I could do it myself. How about since men stopped being valued for their effort? Women want the guy who will take charge, who hunts, who pursues, but when society flips the script and tells them to sit down and shut up, you're right. It's not a woman's job to pursue, but maybe men are tired of the game too. If you're expecting a man to go all out when you're giving the bare minimum energy in return, don't be surprised if he checks out. Relationships is a two-way street and not a one-sided handout.
I want to talk about when somebody that you genuinely care about really fucking hurts you. The experience that I just had with someone is so heartbreaking. And I know a lot of you probably won't agree with me on this, but I truly believe that when people do shitty things in this lifetime, it does not define them on a soul level. The worst part is watching this person self-destruct and derail from the path that was meant for them. Especially after you did everything in your power to get them back on the right path, and then they just brought themselves down and everybody else around them. I still have empathy for people that really hurt me, and that's because I just don't want to see them be terrible to other people. I want to see them grow and evolve as a person and not make the same mistakes. And it's heartbreaking watching them destruct themselves and bring everybody else down around them. But we all have our own free will. I just want to see people go down the right path and not repeat the same terrible toxic cycles and evolve into the best version that they can be for themselves in this lifetime.
Someone hurt you and you still have empathy for them. It's noble. But here's the thing, and this is going for men and women. People who self-destruct and drag everyone down with them aren't your responsibility. Modern relationships today seem to be built on this trying to fix someone else's mess. But the hard truth is you can't save anyone who doesn't want to save themselves. You did everything to help them, but in the end, they chose their path. You can hope they evolve. You've got to stop sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of someone else's growth, because that's not love. That's just self-destruction by a proxy. Well, guys, this is the end of the video here. If you like what you've seen today, hit that like button, share, subscribe with all your friends, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment down below what you think, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.